You know, I think he's going to be really good with these pairings, and he's going to be able to describe things the way Chris does, which kind of I
don't like.
All right, gentlemen, where are we going?
Parks Barbecue in Koreatown.
Parks Barbecue, my favorite Korean barbecue spot here in LA. Korean barbecue is a staple of LA food, and Parks is at the top of all the restaurants.
Yeah, it's the go-to place. The hardest to get in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And we were headed there for lunch and a lot of good food.
Quick side story to Korea, to Korean food and Parks Barbecue. I had never eaten Korean barbecue or Korean food while I was here in LA, and then Hyunjin Ryu was signed to the Dodgers. Korean left-handed pitcher, idolized in Korea, just one of the best pitchers that they've ever had. And when he signed, he took me to Parks and he said this is the place to go. So after that, that's where we went.
Right, every time.
Yeah.
What makes it better than all the rest? The quality of the meat.
Yeah, the quality of the food. You know, one of the things that makes Korean barbecue so good is that you get all these little side dishes. A lot of vegetables.
Banchan.
Yeah, a lot of vegetables, a lot of different things. I love the Korean pancake, which is really like an egg made into like a pizza with like seafood in it. But what makes a really good Korean barbecue spot is the quality of the meat, for sure.
Yeah. Quality banchan, quality meat, great atmosphere, great service, and cold beer, which we're gonna need some of that. Yeah.
Let's go, I'm hungry. We have a special guest.
Surprise special guest.
One of my best friends of all time.
Yep.
I mean, one of my best friends. He has his own wine label, which we will be talking about. He's one of the first guys that got me into wine. You know, I think he's going to be really good with these pairings, and he's going to be able to describe things the way Chris does, which kind of I
don't like.
Because I describe things like in a very simple way, like what everybody wants to hear, and these guys are like talking about like
soil and acid and
all these mineralities and tannins and I don't know, spice with Doritos. I mean, I don't even, you know.
He's just more of like, I like it, I don't like it.
Yeah.
More, I want something else.
Yeah. It works, it doesn't work.
Right. You know, obviously red meat and red wine go well together, but there's all of these other really cool dishes that they have. You were talking about
pancake.
The kimchi stew is really good.
But normally kimchi, hot, spicy, probably won't go with red.
Well, if it's a high alcohol red, yeah, they can tend to fight a little bit. But I've got a few tricks up my sleeve to solve that problem in the red wine category.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like it. Anything with spice, heat, like, you know, if I'm eating like a really hot, spicy pozole, I want to know what wine I'm drinking with that, right? This is similar. Can't wait. Parks Barbecue. You ready? Ooh, what do we got here?
Oh,
hey, look at this.
You
look
showing
off?
off?
Look at this guy right here.
Who's that guy?
That's yours truly. That's Hyunjin, who brought me here for the first time, told me all about Parks, and love coming here since. This is where Shanho Park and Hyunjin Ryu would bring everybody. So yeah, this is the unofficial, you know, spot for if you want your Korean barbecue for sure.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. Kind of good protein.
Let's do this. Let's go. I can't wait. Here's our guest.
Our guest is here. Hi, Adrian.
I just came from the golf course.
Oh, I like it.
Good seeing you. Good seeing you.
Cheers. Please.
Cheers.
That's your seat right there,
Oh,
dog.
perfect.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, this looks great.
Everybody, I want to introduce Dave Roberts here, our special guest. He's going to be doing the tasting, the wine. We'll be talking a little bit about Red Stitch.
Yep.
You can educate us on Red
I
Stitch,
will.
educate everybody on Red Stitch. We are going to try Korean barbecue, try some wines,
Perfect.
try to see what works, what doesn't.
I'm in.
Want to hear your takes.
Okay.
We've got a little bit of beer and soju on the side, probably more for me than you.
Okay. Yep.
You got a
No,
big
I
day?
can still sip. I got time. I got plenty of
All
time.
right.
I'm good.
All right.
Good.
So the idea is, to find like what works, what doesn't work.
Yep. I love food. I love wine. I love beer and pairing, and it's gonna be fun.
He said you were one of the influencers to his wine habits that he has today.
You know what? So I can take a little credit. I just think it's one of those things where when you're in sports or anything,
Right.
to have some balance in your life. And then Adrian was so obviously invested in family and faith and baseball. So I just thought he needed some time to play. And then with food, his love for food, and then wine, it just kind of adds a different layer and element to your life. And
Sure.
so he's kind of taken it and added it to travels and past me. He surpassed me. So he's got a much bigger cellar.
We start off with the bonchon. These are our little appetizers, right?
Okay.
And these always come out at the beginning of the meal. It kind of wets your whistle. You see that they're just kind of small little portions.
Yep.
I think we're going to start with the Riesling here.
We poured the Riesling.
That we have in our glasses.
Why are we starting with the Riesling?
Well, it's the lightest wine that we have in the lineup, so I like to go in a progression, right? Start light and kind of go towards your heavier style wines. There's a couple of spicy things, the kimchi and some of the cucumbers. Riesling that has a little bit of residual sugar tends to offset the spice really good. So
Right.
let's check it
Let's
out.
go.
Let's see if that's the case.
What are you going to start with, Chris?
Let's do the cucumbers, the marinated cucumbers right there.
I grew up eating this. So it's a little spice. I like the crunch. Really nice pairing. It definitely balances out the spice.
Right.
I moved on to the pancake.
Yeah, let's do that.
So that's a kimchi pancake.
That's a kimchi
Yeah.
pancake, yeah. We're just gonna try everything with the Riesling for a little bit and then move on.
Yeah.
Tell us about Red Stitch.
We get that from Mauna Chia up in Monterey. That's where we do Pinot Noir and Chardonnay.
Right. The Sierra Mara Vineyard.
The Sierra Mara Vineyard, and then our Red Stitch flagship is a Cabernet, and that's from Napa in Coombsville. Rolando Herrera, who you probably know, Chris,
Yeah.
is our winemaker, and our first vintage of the Cabernet was 2007.
Oh, nice.
So,
I
It's
remember
a
that.
great vintage to start
It's
with.
a great one to start with. And that big boy is for the Korean barbecue. That would go well with the
Oh
Korean
yeah, the
barbecue.
meats, those
But
meats.
these
And I got
appetizers, this is perfect.
try a little bit of this bean sprouts.
So would you try this with the beer too?
I did try it with the beer. The beer has a nice kind of quelling effect too to the heat. As Adrian says, there's two things that help take away heat, right? Beer is one. What's the other?
Leche.
Leche.
Yeah, that's right.
Leche.
Leche absolutely does. Here you go, Adrian.
This is a seafood pancake.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is good. I would like to try this with the Chardonnay.
Yeah. Let's do it with the Chardonnay. Switch it up here. Thank you. What's the vintage on this, Adrian?
This is 2015.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
so we got
a
some
little
age on
age.
it.
Tiny bit of age, which is good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Red Stitch.
Cheers.
It's
Cheers.
been a while since we drank Red Stitch together.
It's been a while since we drank Red Stitch, broke bread, so this is good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's delicious. You know what it's really going to be good with? It's just corn and the potato chips. Often a creamed corn note is a
See,
typical
I can
note
see that.
that you get from Chardonnay. So hop in there, grab make
think
yourself
that's a
a
great
corn
idea.
chip. I'm going to try it
I
with
think this is gonna
seafood
be pretty
because
special.
Chardonnay and seafood rarely don't go together.
That's why we're doing this. Oh man, you nailed it.
Yeah? The wine makes the
Corn.
corn taste sweeter.
It does.
Like more
It
in
does.
season.
That's right.
Oh, it absolutely does. Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
a
God.
great pairing right there.
That's a great pairing. Let's try the egg. I think is the other thing that's going to go well with the Chardonnay and those pineapples. The notes on the Chardonnay are very tropical,
Yeah.
and I think they will hold hands really well.
Put the pineapple first.
Like, subscribe, and make sure to say your reminders to watch part 2.
Ooh.
It enhances the wine, that's for sure. It brings out like the peach and the pear and the more tropical notes in the wine.